Hello and welcome to today's video. Now in today's video we'll take a look at the Nifty and Fin Nifty. I am looking at the Nifty as I'll be covering it the whole week like how I covered yesterday. This is on the election week. I believe the Nifty is one that has to be covered owing to the severe volatility the index is already exhibiting and will exhibit in the future. Then the Fin Nifty is being covered as it's part of the usual expiry videos I've been doing on a daily basis, covering the index expiring on that day. Now for the Fin Nifty, I will take a look at what the option buyer should do plus the option seller should do due to expiry. However, for the Nifty, as of now, I'll only look at what the option buyer should do for the index. Now on the news front, I know there's a lot which is going on globally, such as the non-farm payrolls report, the ECB rate cut probabilities and everything, but I'm not going to cover that as this week most of the data is not going to be relevant to us, as we'll only be worrying about two things: exit poll and election results. So that's the only thing I believe we have to look at. Now coming to the indexes, one of the first things I would like to cover is that the people who are going to do option buying tomorrow in any of the indexes should be careful. This is for only one reason, that the VIX, as people have seen, has been fluctuating. It had initially dropped and it rose, and all that fluctuation and rising has caused the option premiums to be sky high right now. So now, since this is the final day of the election and everything will be done today, I expect a dump to happen there, and that will cause option prices to naturally head downwards, which will have a knock-on effect on the option buyers. This is as anyone, let's say, who is trying to trade, for example, if Nifty is trading at 23,500 and trying to trade a 23,200 option, if the move is not fast enough, there is no chance of them making any money, as that dump will affect them more than the price rise or fall can affect. So do be aware of that. And secondly, in my video of yesterday, again, I had said that since it's a volatile day coming ahead, one of the main risks you have to look out for in the Indian market is the broker. And I was right. Zerodha went down, and I had seen even one, two other brokers had issues. Now, the same issue is going to come out today. This is, I expect, if the election results are not matching the exit polls, there'll be even more volatility than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday we saw a one-way move, and we had a gap up, then we just basically stayed within the range of the gap. However, today, if it plays out how I'm going to explain, then we'll have much more volatility, and brokers going down will be one of the biggest risks. So how I am, for example, taking care of that, I am entering my Nifty and Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty trades across three brokers. So if one goes down, two are still up, and I'm not going to take an overall smash. So now coming to the indexes, the crux of the matter. Now when we look at the indexes, it formed a very big candle today, and that was primarily just simply the gap up candle. I say this as the first candle of the day which formed, and I would say the first, let's say 15-20 minutes of the day decided the trend. This is where a gap up, and that gap up was so violent in volatility that it formed a very wide range of 700 points. This is, if you see, the lower end of the wick is near 23,150 and the high end is at 23,850. So that's a 700 point candle, which we do not usually see in the Nifty on a normal day. So now once we opened, we stayed within the range. So now how will I trade today's trading session? Now today's trading session, two things you'll have to watch. Number one, the exit polls, all the euphoria they've built up. They built up such a big euphoria that they made it like a bubble. Now if the election results cannot, as they start coming in, cannot be matching what euphoria was built up by the exit poll, then the market will have a pullback that will take out people who are on the long side in a big way. However, by chance, if the election results are matching the exit polls, then we can have a further rise, and then a profit booking to come in. This is as I don't think anyone is that stupid to go up all the way up there and then start holding their position thinking it's going to be much more. There is room for a bit more of a rise, but if let's say we reach the top resistance levels I'm covering today, if we reach there, then there's not much left to go. So if you're trying to hold positions there on the long side, you're most likely going to get whacked. So I expect profit booking to come there, which will bring us down also like a thud. So now how will I play the Nifty in terms of option buying? I expect the Nifty to open roughly around 23,680 tomorrow, or if it does not, open slightly below that, then the first hurdle is 23,540 and 23,680. These two are the resistance zone that will, we can say, taper it off and try to shake off the weak hands as the positivity builds. However, if we take out 23,680, then we have a target of 22,850, which will be the real D-Day. I believe we will only be able to break 23,850 if the initial results coming out are very positive towards the BJP. If they're not, then we'll not be able to take out that resistance zone. And how to make sure that you're not trapped in going long there, or you're not trapped in going short and it goes up, look at the volume build-up indicator. If the volume build-up indicator is as green as it is right now, as if we look at the whole thing, if it is as green as this, then we will rise till 24,120. Easy. If 23,850 breaks, easy rise to 24,120. On the other hand, if the election outcome is okay, a win for BJP, but is not as grand as they've been celebrating and talking about in the exit polls, then these two resistance zones will cause hell for the index, and maybe this one if we go until there, and they will cause a pullback to come. And the first support, which is the very key, is the 23,150. This is 23,340 can be broken in simple volatility, but 23,150 will need a lot of knocking to break. If we break 23,150, then I believe we will have a fall, okay, to 22,950 initially, but we will be going to the range between 22,700 and 22,820. This is the target which I'll be having on the downside. We can go further down than that. However, that will be the initial target, because what I'm banking on is a rise, then a fall. That is why I've gone until 22,700 rather than going even more than that. So my gameplay for the Nifty, if you break 23,680, then 23,850, that is going to need a lot of the volume build up to be there to go to 24,120. This is as the election results will be also translating to volume, so it will. On the other hand, if we break 23,150, we can expect a very sharp descent until 22,820, 22,700. 22,950 is a support which can hold, but the likelihood of it holding in that ferocious fall will be too hard. Another thing, if we rise even to 24,120, then I will start looking for signs of profit booking, as people will want to cash out, and that cashing out, as basically when a good chunk of money cashes out, the bar which will form will scare the hell out of everybody and will just go straight sliding down. So that's how I'm looking at the Nifty. Now when we come to the Fin Nifty, let's load the chart. Now the Fin Nifty, I've put it in terms of clusters. This is, it is due to its having its expiry, it cannot have a clean move like the Nifty. So the first cluster, which will be the real challenge for Fin Nifty, is 22,960 and 23,020. If it is able to break this cluster, then the next cluster of 20 until 23,250. If it breaks that, 23,550. I believe BJP will need to get the number of seats it's showing in the exit poll for it to break 23,250. So one of the safer CE cells, but do not enter those CE cells in the morning, or you will get crucified with the volatility, will be above that level. If we cannot break 23,020 and you're seeing the volume build-up is bearish or neutral, then even CE cells above that can be done. But anyone entering CE cells in the morning itself will most likely get washed out, as the volatility will kick them. On the downside, if you break the support at 22,720, then I believe you're going to fall until 22,490. This is as the support at 22,620 can cause a bit of a stability, but will not be able to hold the pressure. So a break of 22,720 takes us to 22,490, and there's a high likelihood of that breaking and taking us until 22,230, which here is slightly mislabeled, but if we label it correctly, we will see it is, this quant level is literally also at the wick of today's gap up. So a break of this takes us here, and by chance that gives up 22,040. So that's how I see the Fin Nifty trading in terms of option buying. Option buying, treat each cluster separately, and option sells, I would not sell puts for only one reason. If we have a drop, the drop will be worse than the climb. So that's, you'd rather sell on the rises, provided it's getting stopped at one of the resistance, rather than selling on the drop, because if that drop comes, you will not have a chance to even run away before it takes you out completely. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and any suggestions you may send, and also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.